Sealed pot. I found it right after I ended that live stream the other day. Daisy, I said, Daisy, where's the pot? She says, over there. And it was right there. It was on top of my bedroom bureau, and it had one of my knapsacks for hanging in front of it. So we have a pot. All we need to do is get some donations for this up and coming video. You know what? That door is open. The sun was gone for a long time this morning. It was raining so hard. Oh my God. The rain here for the last 15 hours or so has been just that we're in rainy season now in Bahal. So let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. So I just posted a video up on my community page with cheese. I had cheese in my hand. And that video was, I think that video goes back to 2010. But it was a video about how many dating sites I had tried to meet a woman on and how many scams occurred in those years between the year 2009, when I knew I was going to move to the Philippines, until actually I was doing dating sites and scams until about 2016 when I met Daisy. Daisy is the only woman I ever met in the 6 years I was on a dating site that never, under any circumstances, ever asked me for any money at all, ever. Not money for food, not money for a load, not money for transportation, never asked for a penny. So in 6 years that I was on a dating site, I met one woman out of about 3,000 women that I talked to. Maybe it could have been more. Actually, I have a from going back to 2010, I have an email where it was for dating. There might be 2,000 messages. They were all asking for money or something. I saved every message. I'm not going to get involved with that today. What I will tell you, though, is this. Nothing has changed on the dating site as of 2 years ago. Because everybody knows that Daisy and I broke up for a while. And at that time, I continued dating. I just didn't make it public. But I did go on some dating sites, and nothing changed. From 2010 to 2021, nothing changed. Every single woman that you contact, first of all, their understanding of English is not so good. They do take English in high school, but they don't really understand the English language. So I've tried to explain this to you people before. You have to ask Filipinos and or Filipinos, you have to speak to them the same way you would text somebody. The texting has destroyed not just Filipinos, but all the peoples of the world. It has destroyed their ability of cognitive thought. There's no doubt in my mind that's happened. People are no longer able to comprehend compound questions and or sentences. So if you were to go online, all right, this guy got to go. I got to get to my home page. We're not going to have trolls on my account. So this is a troll-free zone, dude. You don't know me, I don't know you, but what I do know about you is you're about to disappear. So let me just get to my We don't allow, actually do not allow trolls on my page. And you putting websites up there for dating sites or anything like that, it's not allowed. I see it's in the name of your, it's in your name, wherever you want people to go. It's just not allowed. I don't allow people to post channel names or their names unless it's something positive. I don't allow it to happen on my page. So let me get over here. Let's make you disappear. Away. Okay, we're gonna hide you on this channel. Hide on this. Adios. Sex chat. Adios, dude. John Blaze. John Blaze. John Blaze. Add as a moderator. Done deal, John. John Blaze is now a moderator. Thanks for stopping by. So, 2 years ago, when Daisy and I, you're welcome. 2 years ago, John Blaze, moderator, baby. And I can assure you, John Blaze is a trustworthy moderator. I asked Daisy where the pot was, John. It was right there on top of my bureau. It had my backpack in front of it and some coat hangers. So we did find the pot. Thank you. Now, so let's get back to dating. The dating sites to meet a woman. All right. Now I said in the beginning of this video this is why I don't allow trolls on my channel. They break your concentration. Now I need to make a lot. I'm doing okay. Thanks, John. I talked to, chatted about 3,000 women between 2010 and the time I met Daisy. I dated a couple of women between that time. When I got here in 2014 to 2016, I may have dated, I don't know, probably less than 20 women, I think. I never kept track. But all of them wanted money right away or to go visit them. So that is what taught me about the various places in the Philippines. Every time I met a girl, she would say she's from Bacolod. Well, let's look up on the map where Bacolod is and what there is to see in Bacolod. And there's nothing to see there except the courthouse is about 150 years old and it's marble. That's it. There's nothing else in Bacolod City that I would want to see. Now, outside Bacolod, there's a kind of an amusement park, but when I got there, it was raining and it was closed. But, so when I met a girl online, I would always take where she lived and Google it and then pull up the Google map. A lot of women are from a place called Tarlac, T-A-R-L-A-C-K, I think it is, or T-A-R-L-A-C, Tarlac. Tarlac is someplace that you've never heard of, but let me tell you why they tell you they're from Tarlac. Tarlac is in Upper Luzon. You are never, it would take me to get to Tarlac. First, I would have to get to Manila, and then I would have to travel on a bus for 6 more hours. So figure 6 or 7 hours to get from Manila from the time I wake up, and then 6 or 7 hours to Tarlac. Are you really going to go travel for 12 hours to meet a woman? And in Tarlac is just mountains and forest. How do I know that girl is there if I went to Tarlac? So what they do, and I have a point here, what they do is they tell you they'll come and visit you because Tarlac is too far for you to travel to see them. And that's true. And how they This is where the scams start. Every time I say the word scam, I'm going to hit the pot because they're the ones that are really making a lot. Scam. Getting scammed on a dating site happens every day. Hey, Jim, thanks for stopping by. Getting scammed on a dating site happens in every way. You can have cash, they may have no cash, but you are about to get scammed if you're looking for a long-term relationship on a dating site. So here's how it works. So a girl, now I lived in Cebu proper, Ayala, the Ayala district, down to the nitty-gritty. Are you talking to a chatbot? Oh yeah, now down to the nitty-gritty. He's, whoever that is, brings up, okay, so this is going to be a complicated subject. Down to the nitty-gritty said, are you talking to a chatbot? You people don't believe this, but AI, artificial intelligence, has gotten to the point right now where you could be talking to a computer-generated conversation on their side, and you wouldn't know the difference. You will not know the difference. Very, very subtle ways you could know the difference. Like you could say, you could ask them a question about a street. What street do you live on? What is the cross street? But you're not thinking like that. You're looking at pictures on the screen. So you could be talking to an artificial intelligence. That's a valid point. So the last time when Daisy and I had separated, back in 2021, I went back on a dating site. And I met a girl. Where was she from? Where was she from? She was from... Oh, man, I forget. She was from... Wow. Hold on a minute. Let me look at... I have to look at something. Hold on one moment, please. I'll have to go to my mail because I was going through some emails from them. This is a very special girl, this girl. This one I spent a lot of time with. Okay, so her name was General Santos City. General Santos City. She made an impression. No, I was just going through the mail. This one I went back and forth with for about 10 or 12 conversations. Her name is Glory, Glory. So I'll open up the mail. I'm not going to show you the mail because it has my email address on it, but I'm going to open up the mail from her, and I'm going to go to my first message to Glory was back in January of 2021. And where was that message? Hi, from me. This is typical. This is why I started to say before, you cannot talk to these women and have a real conversation with them. You cannot ask multiple questions in a sentence. You can not ask multiple questions in separate sentences. Not possible to have a conversation with 99% of these women. Now, the reason is because they are texting back and forth. Their life is spent texting. So they understand, good morning, how are you? That's two questions. That's two statements. That's two concepts. Good morning, how are you? That's two things. You're going to get a response, hi, H-I. These are not English-speaking people. So, and they have been texting since they were born. Well, I mean, me personally, I would never, ever, I wouldn't consider, it wouldn't even cross my mind to date a 31-year-old woman. It just wouldn't that wouldn't cross my mind. Any man that's coming to the Philippines, I don't care how old you are, 60, 50, 70, there is no reason for you to get involved with a 35 or 40-year-old woman with children. Maybe a 30-year-old woman without children, but why would you do that? There are, on this woman here, Glory, that she was at the time 26, 27. She was at the time 27. That was my limit in 2021. I've moved up my thought process to where if I was ever going to date another woman besides Daisy, I might consider, maybe consider, possibly consider, probably not consider it at all, dating a 31-year-old woman. I probably wouldn't do that. I'm beating up on his 32-year-old, no kids lady, but she was 26. Yeah, well, I remember her. And at the time, she was 26. That's cool. But I mean, me personally today, if something happened between Daisy and I might go up to the year 30. But you've been with your woman for 5 years. I met her in Luna Beach, so... But a man, I was sitting down talking to Scott Del Fuego. Needs a good boob job, though. Woof. That's another thing. That's another. There are options. This is like dating a woman on a Philippines dating site is like having a menu put in front of you. You can have one from column A and two from column B, or you can have the platter, the full-on platter. So this woman, 27, hello, how are you? I'll read it. Hi, where do you live? Hi, and where do you live? That's two things I mentioned in the first sentence. Can you swim? Her answer was, I'm live in the Philippines. Now, wait a second. I said, hello, how are you? Can you swim? And where do you live? Live in the Philippines. That's what you're going to get. So, I screwed up. Now, I know this. I asked them, I said, hello, how are you? That's two things. You are not going to get a response, hello, I'm doing fine. It's not going to happen. These women have been, Filipinos in general, maybe people in general, they have been programmed from birth to have one text go this way and one text go back. You cannot ask multiple questions. So anyway, moving on. Hello. I forget what I wrote. Hold on a minute. Hi, where do you live? Can you swim? Live in the Philippines. Okay. So I'm not going to get an answer. So the second question to this woman is, please tell me where you live. That's it. That's just the one thing. Please. She lives in General Sanos. I don't know where that is. Sanos, S-A-N-O-S, Sanos City. Now, wait a minute. This girl has a bachelor's degree and she's a professional makeup artist. She's making up stories is what she's making up. So, I live in General Santos, S-A-N-O-S City. Up, and then I get another mail, Santos City. So she spells the name of her city wrong. Okay. Okay, so now I know General Santos City is not at a place I would go to meet a woman. It's not a place, it's very far, and it's just not a place I would go to meet a woman because there's nothing in General Santos City that I want to see. I always made it when I wanted to go visit a woman, to visit the woman and see something in the city where she lived. And I have been to so many places. All of the 20 women that I dated, only 2 or 3 were from Bohol, and they all lived Dumaguete. There's nothing to see in Dumaguete. Nothing at all. Dumaguete is a giant slum. That's what's in Dumaguete. It's now when I say slum, bars, discotheques, clubs, and a boardwalk with 200 or 300 prostitutes on the boardwalk at night. That's to me a slum. That's Dumaguete. Now go to Bacolod, or you're moving down now. You're going up the coast and you're moving down in quality. Bacolod is nothing to see in Bacolod except the courthouse. That's worth the trip. But when I got there, it was closed because it was raining. It's an ancient building in Bacolod. Now, there is also a big town square there, a big park in Bacolod. It's a Masonic park. It's built by Masons, and then there's a huge Christian church across the street. I try not to go into churches because I get bad vibes from churches. All the people praying to God with the negative life force that goes into a church to pray to God, and then what do? They give God money. They give God money, like God needs money. Well, they give the intermediary money. The guy between them and God is the priest. Don't get me started with priests. The Catholic Church, well, we'll talk about that. The Catholic Church, since recorded history, this is true. This is fact. The Catholic Church has given $5 billion in reparations out for wrongdoings by the priests, the nuns, the missionaries, the Catholic Church. There's a lot of negativity in the Catholic Church. So I try not to go into the churches themselves unless there's a wedding. I don't even go to funerals in churches. I can tell you what the last priest I spoke with, but we're on dating now. So, okay, so this girl, Glory, right? So, where do you live? She lives in General Santos City, which doesn't exist. Then she corrects that. I live in Santos City. Oh, okay, so can you swim? Yes. The answer is yes. What? How far can you swim? What does it mean, swim? Swim across the pool? Swim? I swim a kilometer when I swim, every time. I don't swim less than a kilometer. Now, because of my leg, I stopped swimming. But when I do swim, I swim 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, which is a mile. Can you swim? Yes. How far can you swim? Yes, I can swim. Okay, that didn't answer the question. So she lives in General Santos City, which doesn't exist. She can swim. How far can you swim? Yes, I can swim. Degree. Drew Barker does not need a church. Don't get me started with churches. Churches are probably a representation. Well, there's no doubt in my mind that a church that is represented by a priest of all things, that is supposedly representative of the Pope, which is supposedly a representative of God. The intermediary between God and man is a Pope. Don't get, you got me started. I'll do it. I'm going to scam alert. The church, the Catholic Church, scam alert. Scam. Okay, so you have a family member, and your family member's going to go off to fight a war. You give the church money, and you pray for your family member, because that's what we do. We always, I don't care who you are, everybody thinks about God once in a while. And you pray, but your family member goes off to war and scamming boobs. All right, we got to go back to that. All right, so I got sidetracked again. Your family member goes off to war, dies. Now you got to give the church money so they go to heaven. And then the priest assures you that your family member went to heaven, and that money somehow got to the Pope because God needs more money. It's a scam. It's a scam. Religion, donations to any church, any organization in the, it's a scam. You're better off. Anyway, you're better off on a dating site. At least you're going to get something at the end of the day, hopefully. So the girl, I don't know what to say to the girl. Yes, she lives someplace that doesn't exist. Yes, she can swim, but not how far. And now, my next question is, I would like to bring you to Bohol. How much pesos will it cost you to come to Bohol? Now, all this time I was waiting an hour, 2 hours, a day for a response. Boom, she's back online. I can come to Bohol, 15,000 pesos. At the time, to go to Davao, where Daisy lived, Davao International Airport was $50. She wants 300 just to come to Bohol. It's a scam. So if you ask them legitimate questions, you get nonsense. As soon as you ask them how much money it will cost for them to get to you, they have a number. $300. Now, she knew that the cost of airfare was $50. So I said to her, but airfare is only $58 at the time. $58. Yes, sir. Now I'm sir. Oh, I've graduated. Yes, sir. But I need money for snacks, and I also have to be assured of a ticket back. Well, okay. How do I know you're going to come? Sir, you gave me the opportunity to chat you. You have to also trust me. And that was the end of our conversation. So they want your money. Now, I dated in Bohol many, many girls, probably 4 or 5 girls in Bohol, which for me, that's a lot. So the first girl I dated ever, when I moved into the Stanley House in March of 2014, she worked at the ICM Mall. This is true story now. Okay, so she was actually a floor cleaner. I met her. She was scraping gum off the floor. Very cute. Not so petite girl, because I'm really not into skinny women, but she was very nice. And I used to see her, and we used to talk all the time. I would be sitting down or going into there, and I remembered she was cute, and I said hello to her. And one day I said to her, can you swim? And she said, yeah. I said, well, I live right near the ocean. Would you like to come swimming with me? So she said yes. So this is going back into March or April of 2014. So I live right where I lived then. So we swam out to the yellow barge that's being repaired now. We swam out to the yellow barge. That barge has been there since I got here. And we hung out on that barge, and we hung out on another barge because there was other people on the yellow barge, and the things that we wanted to do couldn't do on the yellow barge. So we went to another barge up the beach a little bit, and we did what we wanted to do there. So, and that barge, the yellow barge belongs behind the Talisai tree. The other barge belonged behind the Aniana Hotel. So, and you're allowed to go on them because they're parked out by the reef. So I'm dating this woman for a long time now, and Christmas comes. Now, I asked her, do you have any children? No, I don't have children. Okay, well, I didn't want a woman with children. It says on my, if I could go to my old profile, it will say, if you have children, please don't contact me. If, what else does it say? I don't talk about two toys. But I am, some people want, they don't care what a woman looks like, that's fine. I want a well-rounded woman. Okay, so if you have children, don't talk to me. If you're going to ask me for money, don't talk to me. Because if you don't have enough money to come visit me, I'll come and see you. But if I choose to, because you're going to get 300, 400, 500, 600 messages a month if you're on a dating site. Who has that kind of time? So I'm dating this girl. Do you have children? No, I don't have children. Christmas comes, and I don't remember where we were. I think we were in the shower. She says to me, by the way, can you give me money for Christmas presents for my family? I was with her for 6, 7 months. I said, sure, how much money do you need? 20,000. 20,000. And what are you going to buy with 20,000 pesos? Well, I want to buy my children a phone. This is 2014 now. This is not this week, last month, last year. And I said, but wait a minute, where did the children, you have children? Yes. I said, but I'm dating you for 7 months. I asked you if you had children. Yeah, no, I don't have children. They live with my mother. Oh, you have children. So I didn't give her the money. I said to her, you know what? We're done. Okay, because I don't want to get involved with a woman with children. And we were not being careful about what we were doing in person. So she could have got pregnant at any given time, and then I would have 3 children now. So she's gone. That's what you can. Now, I go out to Ubay, next girl, Ubay, U-B-A-Y, out at the end of a hall. Do you have children? No, I don't have children. Wait. There was that beautiful girl in Cebu, Conciliation. Do you have children? No. Are you sure you don't have children? Positive. I'm on my way to Cebu, babe. This girl, this was a well-rounded woman. I'm on my way. I mean, I was on the dating site with her at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the next day I was in Cebu, in Conciliation. We have dinner at the Astaca Bay Hotel. Astaca Bay Hotel. Beautiful lunch, dinner menu they have there. We spent 3 days at the Astaca. She comes, it was a Friday night. She comes Friday night. It's Sunday, about 2 o'clock. I don't know what I was going to do. I had checked out of that hotel because I wanted to go to another part of Cebu. And she said she had to go back to work on Monday, so no matter, we were only going to be there for that one more night in a hotel. So she says, let's go to my parents' house. And our parents live 5 minutes away by tricycle. So we go in Constellation, Estaca Bay, cross the street, we get on a tricycle and we go up a hill. There's mountains, real mountains. And we go up this hill. And the tricycle can go no further because of weight limitations and the angle of the earth. It was just too steep. There was no more vehicular traffic unless you were on a dirt bike, a motorcycle, but no more tricycles, no more cars, anything. All that stopped 200 or 300 feet behind the tricycle, cars and jeeps. So we going up this hill, and we get off the tricycle, and there's a stream of water running down dead center in the middle of the path. And it's gray water with some solid matter mixed in with the gray water. So what they did was, the people on the mountain, instead of carving a path to the right side or the left side of the walk path, somehow the gray water and septic water and hard matter, solid matter, went straight down the middle of the walk path. So you had to keep walking around the gray water, and you could smell it. I can't wait till they get smell-o-vision. I want to do videos in a couple of places in the Philippines. So we're walking, and she's grabbing my hand and pulling me. I remember pulling me left and right. And all the way up there, all her neighbors knew that I was coming. And they all out on the path waiting to say hello to me. So we get up to the top of the mountain. We're at the very top of this mountain, and there's no more to go. And her house is up there. It's a big wooden house. This is what I do. I'm going someplace with this. It's a big wooden house, a giant room, like 25 by 25. So and it looked like I was in a movie, because every window shutter was open, and there were people hanging out of the windows and on the doorsteps and in the doorway. We're not talking about 2 or 3 people. We're talking about 15, 18 people. They're all waiting, because she texted them and told them I was coming. The neighbors were out, and I'm going, wow, this is strange, okay? So I walk into the house, and everybody says hello. This is the custom here. And I had brought these huge conch shells, about 10 or 12 inches, to Cebu for her father, who polishes shells and sells them. So I had brought like two or three big shells, conch shells, and then a couple of smaller shells that were not finished. But he really did polish shells, and when I got there, he showed that he did a beautiful. He was an artist. Okay, so we're talking, and now there's 20 people. They gather around you. They all ask you where you're from, what do you do for a living, do you have a pension? They bombard you with questions, and now I don't allow that to happen. But I didn't know better then. So I'm in the room with 20 family members and neighbors and everybody. This is common. I got 3 more stories like this. So I'm in the room, and a baby walks out of a room attached to her sister, cousin, somebody, another woman. And the baby says, "Mommy." And so the baby was about 2 years old, and it was her baby. And I said to her, I forget her name, "What? You said you didn't have any children." I don't have children. My daughter lives with my mother and father. What? What did you just say? You don't have children? your daughter lives with your mother and father? Is that what you just said to me? Yes. This was a first. So, time went on. I gave her father the shells. The guy took me out in his workshop in the back. Oh my God, this guy did. He made these conch shells into a work of art. I made lamps out of them. He made holders for fruit and vegetables out of them. He was a real artist. I'm glad I had those shells to give him, because I would have had nothing else to do with those shells. I would have just left them on the side of the house forever. So I would probably still be with, she was freaking an amazing, very smart. She worked in a lens factory. She built lenses for one of the camera companies in Cebu. She had a job, but I probably would still be with her. I don't want to take care of somebody else's child. It's not complicated. It's not something I want to do. All right, so that's one. Next girl. So I go Ubay, or do I go Anda first? Where did I go? Ubay. I go to Ubay, all the way out on the end of Bohol. Do you have children? No, because I have it on my profile. I don't want to meet your children. I don't want to get involved with a woman with children. I don't want to spend the time with somebody else's children. I'm not interested in having children, taking care of your children. No, I don't have children. So I go to Ubay, and she has 2 children living in rooms next to her mother and father. That lasted a minute and a half. I was in the house. Her 2 children came out. She introduced them to me. I left. I just stood up and walked out. Go to Anda. This girl has these pictures. They're gorgeous. This girl is freaking... She's model. She's a model. She's a Vogue cover. She's on the cover of Vogue every 2 weeks. I get there. She's probably 30 pounds heavier than her pictures, but she's inked up from head to toe. And in her pictures, she had no ink. A lot of ink. The whole side of her face, from her ear down to here like this. Her whole chest was ink. Her legs, front and back, were ink. Her arms, one arm had a sleeve. So the pictures that they show you, this is my point, the pictures they show you are not actual realistic pictures. Now, I don't care about a girl with a tattoo, but this girl, she was on her way to be 60% inked. All right, so that's Anda. Ubay, Anda, Conciliation. My point is that they don't tell you the truth. If you ask, do you have children? And they say no, your next question has to be, is your mother taking care of the children that you don't have? This whole entire thing, the dating site, it all was brought back to me from that video I made with the cheese, because they lie. They lie. Get it through your head, they lie. So, in Anda, oh, no, it wasn't Anda. Anda was Anda there was another place that sounded like Anda, but it wasn't. Oh, yeah, it was Anda. The 2 of them are in Anda. So my next date in Anda is a girl that's 20 years old, about. She said she was 20. She could have been 20. She could have been 19, actually, but said she was 20. So I get to Anda. I'm staying at the Anda something hotel. Beautiful place. 500 people peed in the pool during a party that it was a fiesta weekend, and I watched 500 people pee in the pool from my balcony. I paid for a a suite overlooking the ocean. I got stuck in a room with no window in it because they gave my room to the musician that was playing for the fiesta. They still charged me 8,000 pesos for the room per night, 8,000 pesos. And I couldn't get my money back from the owner of the hotel that was drunk. And this is Anda. The Anda Hotel. Okay, so I meet the girl. At the church in Anda, you get off. She goes, get off at the church. Walk across the street through the basketball court, straight through the basketball court. That's my house. And that's where she lived. I am greeted by a couple of men, her father and maybe uncles or cousins or somebody, and a bunch of women, and they bring me into the living room, and they were very, very, very nice people. And they offer me something to drink. And I don't know what I had something to drink. And then the father started asking me questions about what are my intentions with the girl. And at the time, I was looking for a long-term relationship. He goes, well, my daughter's only looking for a long-term. I said, that's fine if I like it. If I don't even know her. I met her online 2 days ago. If she's a nice girl, I'll stay with her. Well, she wants to get married. I said, yeah, okay. She was a very pretty girl. I mean, she was very, very pretty. She was 19 or 20. She was a pretty girl. I said, yeah, okay. So he goes, we're having a party in your honor tomorrow. So you will come here, and then we will all go to the beach. So he had a beach house. That's the one where you could see me on the white sand beach on the rocks. Beautiful place. But it's on my other channel. I'll bring that over to this channel maybe this week. So he tells me my daughter has never kissed a man. I'm getting ready to leave now. I'm getting ready to leave. She's never had a boyfriend before. You'll be her first long-term boyfriend. And she wants to get married right away. I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm going, I'm out here. Let me see what this is all about. So the next day we go to this fella's beach house. It's gorgeous. Right on, and there's a mountain, and then down the mountain, and it's far. It's 200-foot drop down the mountain to a white sand beach. You make a right, and then you go about 300 feet, and that's he's got a little beach house there. So we go there. And there's 75 people. 75 people. And they have all kinds of food. And what I did was I bought all kinds of food at the local store. So we're having foods and party, and the girl takes me to the side and says, I want to get married. I said, yeah, no, your father told me this. No, but I want to get married on Thursday. Thursday, not Wednesday or Friday. No, Thursday. Why do you want to get married on Sunday? I leave for Mindanao, some college in Mindanao, and I'll be gone for 2 years. But I will keep in touch with you. But I want to get married on Thursday, and then you will pay for my college. It's like a business deal. So I said, well, I think I'm busy on Thursday. So this is all true stories. This stuff, I'm not making this stuff up. So the bottom line is, the weekend is over. The fiesta is over. The party at the hotel. Let me tell you something. I didn't have my balcony room because they gave it to the musician. But I could go up on the balcony where the table was because I was entitled to that much. They never gave me back my money. And I watched 75 to 100 people in the pool, drinking in the pool, and no one ever got out of the pool to use the bathroom at the end of the pool. Nobody. The bathroom was unused. For hours I spent there. I was there with the girl one night. The first night I was there by myself. The second night the girl was there with her aunt or cousin, sister, something like that. And we all sat there, and I noticed that no one ever got out of the pool to pee. Just like I noticed in my bathroom videos that 9 out of 10 men that walk into a Philippines bathroom don't wash their hands. That's the truth. Every police officer or guard washes their hands and face. But 9 out of 10 men that don't work as a police officer or a guard don't wash their hands. Every guard, every police officer that has ever walked into a public bathroom washes their hands 100% of the time. And 9 out of 10 Filipino men that walk into the bathroom not out of uniform don't wash their hands. You should remember that the next time somebody hands you a piece of chicken, whatever. So now, and I didn't marry the girl, by the way. So I don't know what happened to her. I left, I think, Monday morning. All right, so now I get home. And I meet another girl. And I never kissed that girl. I never kissed her. I was with her. Well, Friday night I was by myself. Saturday I was with the family. Sunday I spent the whole day with the family. There was no place, no time. And I didn't want to kiss her because I would have been her first kiss. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's the story I got from the father. She's never kissed a man, and I don't want you kissing her. Yes, sir. I take your word for it. So now, next girl. She lives on the far side of Anda, somewhere. I forgot the name of the town. I said to her, look, I'll come out there because I know where Anda is now. I'm like, this is all in 2014 and all before June. This is the first 3 months that I was there. I went everywhere. I went to Bacolod. I went to Palawan. I went back to Palawan after that. Once I went to Palawan for a girl and scuba diving. Once I just went for scuba diving. So I said to the girl, I'll come to Anda. No, we will come and fetch you. I'm going, well, I know how to get to Anda. Yes, we will come and fetch you. So you can't get lost. Okay. So this is dating. This is what you go through when you're dating. So the girl says to me, is it okay if I bring, I think it was her sister. I said, yeah, okay. Bring whoever you want. What do I give a shit? It was 175 pesos in an air-conditioned van for her to get here each, and then for us to go back. So it was $7 to get here and $7 to get back, plus me another $7. So that's it. So anyway, she goes, we'll meet you at the ICM mall. Oh, you know where the ICM? Yes, sir. We know where the ICM mall is. This is dating in the Philippines. So, okay. So we meet at top of the escalator. I don't know where we met. I forget. And she goes, before we leave, she was very pretty. Before we leave, what's the point of going out with a woman that's not what you think is pretty? Whether she was pretty to you or not, for me, she was pretty. You got to remember, at the time I was 56, 59 years old. Any 30-year-old is going to be pretty. So she goes, we're going to pick up a few things. I remember this like it was yesterday. Okay. So I'm waiting. She goes, you can come shopping with us. I said, no, I have a backpack on with cameras in it, and they wanted me to put my backpack in storage. I had the computer, a GoPro, a Nikon SLR camera, and another video camera. I said, no, I'm not going to put that in storage. I'll wait out here. So I wait outside on the benches at the ICM Mall, and they get to the register, and they said, come on in. I says, I can't go in there because I have the backpack on. So they talk to the guard, and the guard says, okay, you can go over there by the register. So I do. I go in by the register. And they had, I remember, 7,432 pesos of food, which at the time, when pesos were 38 pesos to the dollar, would have been about $160, $170 worth of food. I don't know them. I have no idea who they are. I just met the girl. So as they put all of this stuff through the cash register, I only just met them online 2 days before, the girl, and I only just met her. That I wasn't with her for 20 minutes when they went grocery shopping. So they put 7,432 pesos worth of groceries. It goes through the register. And they do this. They talk in their language. And the woman at the register looks at me. She goes, 7,432 pesos. What are you talking? What are you telling me for? Sir, it's 7,432 pesos. I said, but why are you telling me? Oh, sir, you're going to pay for this, right? I said, no, I'm not paying for that. Why would I pay for that? Sir, these girls are with you, right? I says, I don't know them. I know her for 15 minutes and she went shopping. Well, how much do you want to pay? So I said, 1,500 pesos. So they had to take 6,000 pesos off the counter because the 1,500 pesos is a gift for their family. That's reasonable. 50 bucks. That's a reasonable amount of money. So now we get into the aircon travel vehicle, which is right across from the ICM Mall, and we go out to their house, and they're having a party in my honor. And when I get there, they explain to me, it's still morning, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. It would be nice if I put the battery in before my battery dies. It would be nice if you bought lunch for everybody. There had to be 45 people at the house. I said, you know what? I'm going to go home now. And I left. I didn't go home. But this is what you get when you're dating. I gave them their foods. They kept their foods. I got back, went to the hotel that I had. I don't remember if I had a date that night, because you make a date any time you want, any time of the day and night. I don't remember if I had a date that night or not, but I had a date the next night. So I probably just went to the hotel and then just got another date. So it's to find a girl online, minutes, seconds. As long as you're willing to pay, which is reasonable, foods for the family, snacks, but there had to be 45 people at that girl's house. I met her in the morning, maybe 8:30 in the morning. They were there first thing. We got back to Anders about an hour and 35 minutes. Might have been 11 o'clock, and she goes, it would be nice if you bought everybody lunch. I said, you mean everybody? Yes. We will go out and pick up food at the wet market. And we want to get snacks. So snacks are very expensive here, like a bag of potato chips A 6-ounce bag of potato chips in the Philippines is like $6. Okay, like a good Lay's or Wise potato chips. I said, no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go now. Have a nice day, and I left. But that's what you get on a dating site. Now, if you have a lot of money and you're just looking for one thing, company for the evening, or maybe for 2 days, and you throw money at them, then you're okay. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship in the Philippines for a girl with and none, only the one girl that worked in the eye lens factory, the lens factory for the camera. Only that one girl had a job. Oh, and of course, Myla, M-I-L-A, Myla. I came to the Philippines to meet Myla. This is the scam of the century. I've been waiting to say this one. So Myla and I are talking, going back. I moved to the Philippines on January 8th of 2014. My plane landed. I had talked to Myla for a year and a half. One time a week or once every 2 weeks. She would say, I'll be back online 2 weeks from now on a Sunday night at 8 o'clock. So for 1.5 years, we talked once or twice a month or 3 times a month for a year and a half. So during that time, she showed me where she was in the internet cafe, and I paid a reasonable amount for internet cafe time and her transportation fee, which she lived down the block from, but she asked me for transportation money and I gave it to her. I didn't know she lived down the block till I actually met her in Bohol 6 months later. She came in maybe August of 2014. So I'm talking to Myla every day for a year and a half, every week, every month for a year and a half. So in that time, she said to me, I bought her a nice Christmas present. I bought her a birthday present. I bought her a dress so she could go to a wedding. So she's going to meet me at the airport on January 8th of 2014. And it's Christmas. Of course, I'm going to buy her a Christmas present. It's Christmas. Can you send me an extra on top of her Christmas present, an extra $50 US, so that I can buy a pretty dress and a pair of shoes to wear when I meet you? I said, sure, no problem. So I sent her $50, plus I bought her a Christmas present. January 6th, I get on a plane. It took 39 hours for my plane to get from New York City to Canada, and it was 6 inches of ice on the runway, a blizzard. 6 or 7 hours of waiting time in Canada. Then I got stopped at customs before I got on the plane, and then they took my suitcases because I had spear guns and my dive knife, just scuba gear in the suitcase, and they made me open that up. And when it was time to get on the plane, they sent my planes to France because I was on Air France. So yeah, Alvin's alternator, send me how much money do you want to send me? 10,000 pesos? Send me 10,000 pesos. I'll give you a wrench. So make it 20,000, and make it 20,000. 20,000 is a reasonable price for a wrench. 20,000 pesos to my account, and in a week, when that money clears my account, you come back and say, I am Alvin, and you wrench me. Get off my channel, you crazy little man. So let me go back to where I can go out of my mail. So now Myla is going to meet me. She's going to meet me at the airport. Don't believe a word of it, folks. Don't believe a word of it. So now I get it's January 5th. Now I had sent her the $50. I don't know if before that. I don't remember. Oh no, you didn't say anything offensive. Not at all, Alvin's alt. You didn't say anything offensive. In fact, I even think I know who you are. But I'm not going to give you a wrench. I think you're the fella that tried to get my alternator repaired in Cebu. But you, I don't know you to give you a wrench. Anyway, moving on. Are you that fella? And if you are, tell me where you brought the alternator to, and what we did with the alternator, so I'll know it's you. So I think I remember you well. Yeah, and then we'll talk. So I send her the money. I get on. I send her a message. I'm getting on the plane. I'll be there when the plane lands. I don't know. I gave her the flight number and all that itinerary stuff. So when I got 6-hour delay in Canada. Then I got stopped at customs. They sent my suitcases to France. I'm on an Air France plane, but the plane wasn't supposed to go to France. The suitcases weren't supposed to. So I get to the Philippines, 39 hours to travel. I get to Cebu. My luggage isn't there. So I text Myla from the airport from a guard's phone, because I don't know how to get in touch with her now. I don't have internet. My computer did not have Wi-Fi. I didn't have a cell phone with internet. So I borrowed a cell phone from a guard, and then he let me text Myla. No answer. So I gave him 50 pesos. Then about an hour later, I texted her again, and I gave him another 50 pesos. And he would stop by every hour or so while we were waiting for my luggage, because we didn't know where my luggage was. So it's 2 o'clock. I get there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's no luggage. We're not going to find the luggage. It's not. They find out that my luggage went to France. So it's like 7 o'clock at night now. Myla, where are you? Because she lived. Michael Dowdy. Thanks for stopping by, Michael. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate the view. Thank you very much. So I decide to go to Arm and a Leg Hotel. Oh, God, what was the name of that hotel? Anyway, now I get to the hotel. I'll remember. I get there about 8 o'clock. And it's raining. Oh, my God. You go back and look at the weather. January 8th, 2014 was a typhoon. A typhoon like you wouldn't believe. 60, 70, 80 mile an hour, 80 kilometer per hour winds. So I get to the wind is coming. The hotel has no walls on the ground floor. The wind is coming right through the reception area where there should have been. There's not supposed to be raining. It's raining in the reception area. So I get to the hotel, and I said to them, do you have Wi-Fi? Well, they didn't have. They had Wi-Fi, but you could only stay on the Wi-Fi for 10 minutes, and then it cut off, but it was not powerful enough to send a message, or you couldn't receive a message. So the girl says, well, you can use our phone. So I'm trying to get in touch with Myla. Where are you? She lives only a half a mile from the hotel. This is dating in the Philippines. No answer. So I said to the woman, all right, I'll use your phone. She goes, it's $1 a minute. 50 pesos a minute was like $1.30 a minute. So for every minute I used her phone, she charged me $1.30. So I ended up staying there. Myla never responded. Then I went to, never did hear from Myla again. Not that day, not that week, not that month of January. Never did I hear from her again. So did I get scammed for $50? Well, it sure would appear like that because I called her and finally I went to the, oh, what was the name of that? A really nice hotel. I forget the name of the hotel. Jeez, 7 years, 8 years ago. That's a long time. I guess I could look for hotels. 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 ILALAYA. Okay. Ayala Resort, Japa Resort, Ayala. Anyway, I stayed at the very nice hotel with great food, great security, clean hotel, bed, linen, 3 times a week. Anyway, I stayed there. And I'm there, I paid 39,000 pesos, which was exactly $1,000 for 30 days. But I had to make an agreement that I would move out for the fiesta, the Sinulog festival. That I had to move out. Well, no, I know what it was. I stayed there 5 days. Then at the Sinulog, I had to move out of the Sinulog. I went to Mobile, which is a total waste of money and time, effort, energy. There's nothing in Mobile, Cebu, that anybody would ever want to see, ever. For the rest of your life, I just saved you $1,000. They have no white sand beaches. The beaches they have is all rock behind the hotels. You can go swimming with the whale sharks, but you could do that down in Argo. I would never spend 5 cents to go to Mobile again. There's nothing there. And unless you're a bar person or a discotheque person, then that's the perfect place for you. I don't do bars. So after the Sinulog, I signed in for a month. 39,000 pesos, 1,000 US dollars. What the heck is the name of that place? I don't remember the name of the hotel I stayed at. Beautiful hotel. Let me go back to my home page here. Okay, now. A month goes by, and it's like I was dating. I dated a few women. It was, I can't believe I forgot the name of that hotel. It's amazing I forgot the name. It's a beautiful hotel. I gotta find the name of that hotel. Even if I have to go to my other channel. This is freaking amazing. Boy, the way you forget stuff. Anybody remember the name of the hotel I stayed in 2014? Let's go back over here. I don't want to do that.
Kulang ang regular.
All right, let's open up a new window here. I don't know why I'm wasting my time. I stayed at a hotel. So, it's Valentine's Day, and I got a choice who I want to spend Valentine's Day with. So I'm with a girl, I don't know, 2 or 3 days, and I'm having breakfast, and I get a text. At this point, I had bought a $10 phone and a SIM card and a load, and I could I sent Myla my information, my text number, and Myla says, "Hi, Mike, how you doing?" It's like 2 days before Valentine's Day. And I had talked to Myla for a year and a half. I thought maybe she was in the hospital or something like that. So I said hello. And she says, "Can I come and see you?" I said, "Sure, you come." And I'm having breakfast at the hotel. Come inside. "No, you meet me outside." "Why?" I'm shy." "Okay, so when you get here, text me." So she did. And she came in, and we had breakfast. So I said, what happened to you? Because, I mean, I'm not upset. What do I really care about Myla? She was a girl I talked to on the computer for a year and a half. She was a nice girl, but I don't care about Myla. This bothers me. I forgot the name of that hotel. I got to find the name of that hotel. I'm going to do that right now. This is really getting me to the point where, okay, let's go. Hoodwinked. HODWINKEDINGEL. Hoodwinked by an Angel, Michael Fazio. And then let's go there, and then let's go wow, I see a video I never saw before. Let's see if we see anything there. Let's go over here. Let's go to my home page. Open it up in a different link. Let's go to videos. Let's go to videos. Let's go to videos. And then what? Then go search. No, can't do that. Videos. Could take a long time to get that. Wow. This could take a long time, folks. Fazio, Nip, the Aces. Well, no. I don't think I'm ever going to find the name of that hotel. Oh, this goes years and years. I'm going to have to sign in. I'm going to have to sign in for that. I'm going to have to switch the account, sign in, because this is bothering me a little bit. Sign in, go to manage my videos, and then we look for hotel. I'll give you the name of the hotel. 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 And then, my God, I have 109 videos with the word hotel in there. 109 videos with the name hotel in there. And I'm not going to find it, am I? Cost of living videos. Boy, I got a lot of videos I got to bring over. That one's in Bacolod. Okay, so we are way, and the hotel, and the Boracay Hotel was the name of the hotel. The Golden Prince. The Golden Prince Hotel. So Myla comes to the Golden Prince Hotel. And she sits down, and I said, "Myla, like, what happened to you?" And she goes, "I went to my cousin's wedding." I said, "But you were supposed to come to the airport." "Yes." This is dating in the Philippines. "But I gave you money for a dress and a pair of shoes to come to meet me at the airport." "Yes. But I used them at the wedding instead." And I'm going to myself, this is the way they think. She just thought it was perfectly okay to talk to me for a year and a half, tell me she was going to meet me at the airport, ask me for money for a dress and a pair of shoes, which I sent her, and her Christmas present, And then she didn't show up at the airport on January 8th. And then on February 12th, she shows up 32 days later, like nothing happened. This is dating in the Philippines. So I said to her, so what is it that you want to go to the town square? I hadn't been there yet. She goes, no, let's go to the Church of Simala. So she took me, and she was, for all intent and purposes, a tour guide. I had no interest in Myla at all. None. When I met her, she was way too simple for me. She thought there was nothing wrong with what she did, and I could personally care less that she did that, because from that day forward, I had somebody take me from one end of Cebu to the other, to all the most beautiful, well, we went to all the churches, and we went to all the beautiful spots that there was, Argo, down by the whale sharks. We did all the, and she was my interpreter, and she was my tour guide. And I stayed friends with her probably until 2015. We were friends, and then she lived in Cebu. She had a job. She also worked in a phone. She built phones, the lenses for phones. She worked in a clean room. I don't remember what she did. And she came here eventually. She came to Bohol, and then after, when she went back, she told me she found a boyfriend that loved her, wanted to marry her. Okay. Adios. So when you get to the Philippines and you think you're going to just meet a good girl. Now, Myla was a good girl. One of the girls in Anda, well, she was a little bit young, 19 or 20. Her father made it clear she was a virgin, and she wanted to get married, and it was Saturday, and then on Sunday, we went to a party Saturday and Sunday. The party was for 2 days, and then Sunday night she told me, she goes, I want to get married to you on Thursday. What are you talking about? But I need to get married on Thursday because I'm leaving for college in Mindanao on Sunday. So we have to get married Thursday. So are you crazy? I thought that was crazy. So she said no. And the father was okay with that. I even talked to the dad about that briefly. I said, your daughter wants to get married. She wants to marry me on Thursday. He says, and are you going to marry her? I said, no, I'm not going to marry her. I don't know her. She's a good girl. I'm sure she is. But she's going to go to college. Yes. And you can pay for the college. And when she comes back, 2 years, only 2 years, you can start a family. So she wanted me to give her 15,000 pesos a month for 2 years for college, and she was going to be my wife. I get married, she becomes my wife, she leaves the next day, or 2 days later, and then when she comes back in 2 years, we could start a family. I'm going to pass. I passed. So this is what you got to go through when you're on a dating site. So anybody have any questions about dating in the Philippines? Because I'll answer your questions.
And why am I smiling? Because
I just got scammed by a Filipina. That's my latest video. Let's see if I can find my channel page again. This was bringing back so many memories. So many memories of dating. Holy macaroni. So I went through 3,000 conversations. Some of them lasted one minute. Some 3,000 phone calls, text messages, emails, and women. 3,000 women before I met Daisy May. 3,000. That's a lot of women. Now, if I just was looking for a woman to sleep with for the night, you can meet about 5 or 6 of those every hour. If that's what you're looking for, it's no problem. All you have to do is agree to go to see them and give them a gift. The family, a food gift, a monetary gift. But one thing I will tell you is that I know a lot of women asked me at the time to send them money to come to see me. I never did that. Never. I did go to see them, or I would go to see them, bring them back from Cebu or Dumaguete or wherever I was at the time, someplace in between Dumaguete and Bacolod. There was a woman I brought back. But if they ask you for money to go to come and see you, where is the guarantee they're going to show up? Where is that? There's no guarantee they're going to show up. None. Zero. Oh, I talked to you. I chatted with you. Now you have to trust me. No, I don't have to trust you at all. You have to come here and I'll reimburse you for your money. You can trust me. But they don't have money to travel. So that's what dating is like in the Philippines. Anybody have a question? Feel free to ask. Would I do it again? I don't know. I would never go back on a dating site and give it any serious thought. I have that. In fact, I even have a profile on a dating site that I still get messages from 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I don't know. And every once in a while, my name must be on some sort of rotation. I'll get 15 messages from women. Even I won't be online. I'll just get 50. Oh, so-and-so is interested in you. And then you go off the subject. How's my leg? My leg is doing well, actually. I was on the medicine that they put me on. I just took the last pill this morning. Cipraloxin. Cipraloxin. It pretty much killed the infection, and the leg is healing up quite well. But, and this is a big but, last year, the infection from the culture I got at ACE Hospital in Bohol. ACE does cultures. I think it was about $50 for the culture. So ACE does cultures. They came back with an infection called Provincia Stuarte. Provincia Stuarte. S-T-U-A-R-T-I. Stuarte. Provincia, like a province with an I at the end. Provincia Stuarte. And they treated the leg for that infection. And a lot of it, when I say a lot of it, like 75% of the leg healed from that. There's a list of 12 medicines. I don't know where they are, the list is. There's a list of like 12 medicines that they had. It's probably in my bag. Hold on. No, not that. I don't know where I put the list. But Provincia Stuarte, there's a list of like 12 medicines that they treat, but they can't give it to you. They can't give you any one medicine more than 30 days. So what they did was every 21 days, I went back to the hospital. And every 21 days, the same doctor for a year changed the prescription to a different antibiotic. So about 4 weeks ago, we had gone through the rotation of those medicines for the infection called Provincia Stuarte. So at that point, the Dr. Eric, he said to me, he can't do any more for me. I have to go get a new culture. So I said to him, where should I go? And he told me where to go. And I went there. And when I went, I had the hospital in the emergency room. It's called surgery, but it's basically you sign in and you're not on a register. They take you anyway. But you have to wait like 5 hours. So I went to the hospital and they looked at the wound. I showed them pictures over the course of the last 2 years. And then they said, okay, go, we're going to take a sample. I gotta tell you, man, a sample culture. And the guy took out a pair of razor blade tweezers. They're tweezers, but at the end of the tweezers was a razor blade. And what they do is they take the tweezer and they jam it in your leg really hard. And then they pinch down on it and they pull a piece of meat out of the wound. Oh, that was fun. They don't give you a stick or a piece of cloth to bite down on. That was the one thing they didn't do at the hospital. So I'm standing there. I'm sitting on the hospital gurney, going jamming in there really hard, running really, really hard, because he didn't get enough of a sample out the first time. And with that, an Indian woman nurse, not Filipino, takes her cell phone out and starts recording. And I'm going, no. Take those tweezers and jam them in there really, really hard. Really hard. And it was a pair of tweezers like this, but the end of the tweezers had like a razor blade on the tweezers. It was like a razor blade. It wasn't just a pair of tweezers. And he was jamming them into the wound and taking a chunk of the meat out. So when the girl started with the video, then I started with my antics. No, Doc, jam it in there really, really hard, Doc, jam it in. And we were all laughing. I had everybody in the room, everybody on the staff, and every patient in the room laughing because the tears were running down my face. So he finally gets 3 or 4 chunks of meat out of the wound. And they put it in this little glass jar, and they send me up to the 4th floor and 3rd floor. And I go to the lab, and the lady looks in the jar. She goes, "Sir, who took the sample?" I don't know. One of the men downstairs. "Here's the paper." "Sir, you wait here. I have to talk to the biologist or whoever, doctor, the sample designer, whoever he is." So if she comes back, she goes, "This is not a good sample, sir. We need more." "Oh, really?" I was crying. "You need more? How much more do you need?" She goes, "Well, let me write it down." I thought maybe she was going to write like a grocery list down. "I need a 1/4 pound or something like that." So she wrote something in Versailles. And The second time they did a sample, he got what he needed. Now, the first sample was garbage. We had to throw that out. We had to go for another one. So I told the girl, get your camera out. We're going to go in there again. She goes, you're kidding, right? I said, no, I'm not kidding. So I says, you could give this to your academia at school to watch how a real man deals with this guy shoving those razor blade tweezers into my leg. So I had them laughing still. So the second time around, he took out a chunk and then another chunk and then a big chunk after that. The blood was pouring out of my leg, pouring out. I mean, it was literally just running down my ankle. I had my shoe off, but it was just, and I had to wait till that coagulated. I bring it back upstairs and I said to the girl, do you think that, let me check. I'm going, yeah, you do that, because this is the last one I'm doing today. I'm not doing another one today. So that was okay. So the second, Michael Dowdy, to answer your question, the second culture, now I need the culture because I got to tell you what the name of the thing is. That's not it. I got to find the culture anyway. The second one was a completely different bacteria. It had nothing to do with the first one. And then, that's not it. That's my flight itinerary. That's my prosecution papers that were dismissed. I don't know where it went. Anyway, the second culture came back with 10 or 11 medicines. And they're different. I really need that too. They're different. Hold on a second. They are completely different medicine. Completely different bacteria. So the first one was that ciprofloxacin. Now, I will eventually find it. I took a picture of it. I really don't need to find it. Anyway, the first dose of the ciprofloxacin worked out well. It's just one leg, not legs. Just one leg, and out of the 11 wounds that were on my right leg, 8 are gone. The skin is back to regular normal skin. 3 are left, but only a small percentage disappeared in the last few months, but it's a lot compared to what happened in the last year. So that's pretty much, thank you for asking. My leg is getting better. I could even actually now go swimming, no problem. But we're in the rainy season, plus the high tide was 10 o'clock Sunday morning, and actually Dr. Payne, the doctor that took the culture sample, I call him Dr. Payne, he actually is the doctor that was supposed to come here Sunday. We were supposed to go snorkeling together, but apparently he couldn't make it. So actually I had an appointment with the Dr. Payne, I call him. Now I call him Dr. Payne. He was supposed to come and we were going to go snorkeling, and I guess he couldn't make it. He said he did send me a message saying I'm not going to be able to make it another time. I said, yeah, that's all right. The ocean will be there when you're ready. So I became a little bit friendly with the guy who took the sample, Dr. Payne. So he's going to be coming sooner or later. He's an Indian fella. Most of the people, the interns, are from India. I didn't realize how many Indians from India are coming to the Philippines to learn medical, to become physicians or doctors or internal specialists. So he's coming, and I'll have a video of him, of course, when he comes, because I'm looking forward to going snorkeling with somebody. I said to him, "Can you swim?" Because every time I ask somebody if they can swim, they can say they can swim, but as soon as they get in water over their head, they panic. I can't do that. I can't do that. If you panic, I don't care. Scuba diving, swimming, and snorkeling is dangerous. You could believe whatever you want. Oh, you're just swimming, huh? Just swimming. It doesn't take much to get a cramp and panic and drown if you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't take much to panic and drown. Scuba diving is easy to die. If you're not trained, I'll ask somebody before I go become their buddy, how many dives do you have? When was the last time you dove? And what was your, what is your understanding of diving? I will never dive with somebody that says this is my first dive. No, I don't want to dive with you. Go with the dive master. I don't want to hold somebody's hand when I'm diving. I see a comment. Hold on a minute. I'm not going to hold your hand when I'm diving. When I go diving, I want to go diving. I'm paying to go down to look at stuff that I want to go see or not see or find or not find. I don't want to hold your hand. I don't want you people that think that this diving thing is some kind of, it's fun, it's sport, and it's dangerous. And you get some clown that you go down with, you ought to never take your eyes off your dive buddy, ever. Don't matter. And then there's a rule: if you misplace your dive buddy, that person forgets to turn around and look at you, you're looking at a rock, they disappear. Because people disappear after 20 feet, 15 feet, 10 feet, 40 feet. They disappear. You don't know where they are. You can't call them on the phone. What do? When you're diving and your dive buddy disappears, you got to go up to the surface. And that kills your dive. So I don't go diving with inexperienced people. I tell them to go with the dive master. If there's nobody else to dive with except me, I will ask to be transferred over to somebody with experience. I don't want to go up to the surface to look for you, that you probably forgot that you're supposed to go up to the surface, and then I'm up on the surface by myself, and there's my dive. I went down, and then I went back up. Now I got to get back down, and that's the end of my air. No, so that's it. So anyway, I said to him, if you're not a good snorkeler, good diver, free diver, whatever, I don't want to go with you. He said, no, he was good. I said, okay. I'm going to read this last comment. Michael Dowdy says, that's good. I've been thinking about you. I had to go to Manila to see my doctor. Mine has finally completed healed. Just skin is real thin. Yeah, I can't show you the leg right now because then that will make the video. I won't be able to monetize the video if I show you the infection, because they have rules. YouTube has their new rules. If something is not, hey George, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. If something is an infection on a leg or a cut or a wound, they consider it not acceptable for monetization. They have new rules. I could talk about it, but I can't show it to you. Handsome man, George. I think you're George. Are you George? Which way did he go, George? Hey, buddy. if that handsome man, that's a man I've been friends with since. It's all right, George. For you, I'll stay on for a while. Handsome man is a man that I've been friends with since he was a little boy, actually, since he was a child. He lived across the street from me in Howard Beach. Yeah, we go way back. And George, now you want to talk about a guy, he calls him, you know why he calls himself handsome man? I hope your girlfriend's not listening to this. He's with a very nice woman from Argentina or Spain, a very, very, very attractive Latino woman. I'm pretty sure she's Latino. I only saw her for a minute or so when I went to visit George and his mom last time when I was in New York. But handsome man. I wish I could tell you some of the stories about. Handsome man had more women when we were kids. When he was a kid, he had a lot of women. I can't tell you the stories about it. He had more women than you could shake a stick at. STICK. Oh my God. I remember. All right, so I was dating a girl that lived down the block. And there was another girl that lived around the corner from her that she liked me. But this girl was only about 18 years old. And one day, I seen George, he talked to her for a few minutes. I don't know what the next thing you know, the girl is putting junk below George's window to climb into his bedroom window. Whatever George said, he had the magic words. He had the magic words. I know he remembers that too, because that was a day that went down in infamy. George had a lot of women, so he handsome, and he was a handsome young man, tall, thin, nice, well groomed. Knew he was a computer. True story. That's a true story. And everybody in the neighborhood wanted to meet her. And you saw her throwing crap down under George's windows to get a foothold to get up into his room. I remember that. Handsome man. A lot of stories we can't say. That's true. And George, handsome man, will attest to being one of the first people on what they call dating sites going back into the 90s, because George helped me get my first computer. I don't remember what it was, but George and my cousin hooked me up. No, they hooked me up pretty good too. But they got me a computer. That was when the thing used to go, you have mail, ding, ding, ding. But George and my cousin were game players. But George was also on the dating sites. Whatever, they didn't call them dating back then. They called them blog sites like Yahoo.com, where you could meet women in minutes. The same thing in New York. In New York, there's 9 million people. You can meet a woman in every 15 seconds. But and George knew about computers back then. Oh, he was really good about computers. He worked for a big company. I remember that. That's another story we can't tell on the internet. So George was a, and you know what I liked about George? Forums and chat rooms, right? Forums and chat rooms. George is one of the original people. But Yahoo back then had chat rooms, I remember. And he got me involved with that back then. And I thought that was amazing that you could just chat with people. All you did is get on a chat room and you say, look, I want to meet you so and such a place. And the girls would meet you because back then, most of the women in New York City had jobs or money. It's not like here in the Philippines. But George was an avid game player and an avid computer specialist where he was always doing something to us, downloading something, uploading something. I would sit there for hours and watch him upload a program that probably would take 2 or 3 seconds now on floppy disks. Yeah, George was an excellent computer, but the chat room, and the thing about George with his dating, listen to this, George never went anywhere. He never took a girl out for dinner. He never took them out for drinks. He never went out to a discotheque. Whatever those magic words were, he had them come to his room. But most of the time they went in through the front door. But he never took them anywhere. He wasn't like that. He didn't believe in dating. He just believed, come and see me, babe. No, that's not a joke either. I never saw George out on a date with all the women I saw him with when we were kids. He never took them anywhere. He took them to his bedroom, period. That's it. Because that's where his computer was, and they played on the computer. He never took them anywhere, ever. He never took it. I don't even know that he takes his new girl out on a date. I have no idea. I've only been to the house. She's there, but I mean, he's a funny dude, George. Whatever those magic words were, that dragged them through the chat room, through the Yahoo, through the boards to his house. And then it was, you know what he reminds me of? A crab grabbing his meal and then going back into a tunnel with the meal. See you later. All right, I got you now. Yeah, that's funny. So anyway, George, things are good. It's raining here. We're in rainy season here now. George has a boat. George has a jet ski. And George's job, he has the responsibility, the expertise, and the knowledge to do big things. Like pick up thousands, 5,000, 6,000, 4,000 pound objects and maneuver them around the men on the ground. He's an operator. Actually, he's an operator. So we'll call George is a man's man now. Not a joke. Not a joke. George is, he has the responsibility of many men's lives under his work atmosphere. Where he makes a mistake, he turns people into tomato juice if he makes a mistake. He's also had a landscaping business. He can fix almost any kind of mechanical thing. He's an excellent mechanic. George is a man's man, not somebody that does blah 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 on YouTube. And I've had the pleasure of knowing George and his mom. She's such a sweet lady. His mom was buying me expensive mohair sweaters when I was like 17 years old. That's how far back we go. And why? I don't know. I was her press boy. You know, I delivered the paper to her for about 2 years, and I was the hard-working guy that was doing jobs around the neighborhood. His mom always bought me a Christmas present, always, from almost my whole until I was in my 30s. His mom always had a Christmas present for me. Always a nice shirt, a nice sweater. Some sweet lady, and she worked in Manhattan. Not real sure what she did. I think she worked in the clothier business, but she always had a beautiful gift for me. And she was one of the few people I would take time out when I went to New York to go see. And we talked for hours. Hours we talked. And in George's house, I probably spent 2,000 hours in George's house from the time I was a child, because my best friend lived there from the time we were 5 till he moved away when he was 15. And I spent thousands of hours in his house playing in the basement, and in the backyard, on the deck, working in his dad's boat. Yeah, I know George a long time. Right hand, aha. Okay, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. Yeah, I like George. And George and I still talk once in a while, and on the phone, just chat. He has one of those jet skis where you could go out fishing. I'm not going to say which one it is. Fee wants to, but a very nice jet ski. A very nice jet ski where you put the fishing poles and the ice chest and all of that. That's a nice toy. And he got a boat. Or I think he just sold the boat. Or he has a boat and he's going to sell the boat. I don't really pay attention to all the details. I know this. He was going to buy a boat, sell a boat, buy a boat. But he has a jet ski. That's more than a boat. Way better than a boat. You could go anywhere you want with a jet ski in 15 minutes. Where we grew up in the Bay Area, Pumpkin Patch, Jamaica Bay. You can go anywhere you want. And on his jet ski, you could be from Howard Beach to Floyd Bennett Field in 12 minutes or less. And that's if you go through the buoys. If you go through the pumpkin patch, you could be there in 7 minutes from Howard Beach to Floyd Bennett Field. And that's where all the fish are, Floyd Bennett Field. Shell Beach, we call it Shell Beach, but it was also for Flounder and Fluke Beach. And that's right off the inside of the Marine Parkway Bridge. And George he likes fishing. So I think that's pretty cool. So, whoa, one more thing. George. You want to talk about somebody that had service. Not only did the women that he met online come to his house, and he never took them out. He had a bell. He had a bell, and he would tinkle the bell. And somebody would come in and ask him what he wanted for lunch or breakfast or dinner. He had everybody under his majestic spell. Mother, grandma, girlfriend, whoever. He rang the bell. And then when the food was... he was done with the food, he just put the dishes behind him. He didn't bother taking them to the kitchen. Even if he went to the kitchen, if he wanted to get rid of the dishes, he rang the bell. Tell me I'm lying, George. Tell them I'm lying. He had everybody under his spell. I don't know what it was. Handsome man. The words. What was it? You did have a bell, if I remember correctly, right? Or he would just make a sound. Somehow he got everybody to make him whatever he wanted. George? Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? Reckon that was funny. My cousin and George used to play games. This was when games first came out on the internet. First floppy disks. I don't know the name of the game. In my life, I've not spent 20 minutes playing games. They would sit there for days and try to figure out how to get through a trapdoor or down a staircase. And I remember that. This goes back into the 90s, too, because I moved to Florida Keys in 93, so it all had to be before 93. But it all happened from the late 80s when games started coming out online. Maybe George left. He had a bell. He rang, and no, there was a reason for the bell. George had gotten into an accident when he was young, and I think he broke both your legs or both your hips or something like that. So he had a bell. He couldn't walk. But he kept that bell for the rest of his life. He never got rid of the bell. I don't know if he still has the bell or not. If I was his mother at this point, I'd tell him to take that bell and stick it where the sun doesn't shine. But he had a bell. He got that bell when he was injured pretty badly and he couldn't walk. Broke a hip, something. He still had women coming in and out of the house, though. That never stopped. All right, George is gone. Could be the internet. Could be it's late for him also. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. All right, George. Good night. All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. John Blaze, Michael Dowdy, handsome man, right-hand man. Thank you all. Alvin's alternator. I'm pretty sure Alvin's alternator was the fella from Cebu. Very nice man. He's the man that took me to the alternator shop where they tried to put the alternators together. Alvin's alt. I remember. Yeah, now I remember. It is him. But when somebody tells me wrench me, who are you? I mean, why would I give you a wrench? You can do a lot of harm to somebody's channel with a wrench if you wanted to. So Alvin's alt, nothing personal, but what you cost me, we won't even get involved with that. 3 hours. I know you worked hard to put 2 alternators together from 40 years ago, and he worked his butt off to get those alternators to where I would get 1 good alternator out of 2 old ones. Didn't happen. And I can't complain about that. I even gave him 250 pesos for trying. Plus I paid for the cab fare there. But there's an alternator video from Cebu that I have up, but I have one more video from Cebu. And these 2 men, Alvin Zolt and another man, tried to take 2 alternators. My alternator and another one from 44 years ago. And they believed they could take the core out of the old alternator and put it in my alternator because they believed the core would be the right size. And it was. It was the right size. But the diodes from the old alternator have bolts that go through the faceplate of the old alternator. So we were just taking out the armature from the old alternator and putting the armature in mine. And then the diodes were attached to the armature, of course. But my faceplate was different than the old faceplate. And when they went to put the diodes through my faceplate, they didn't match up. And there's no way to fix that problem. There's no way to correct that. There was too many. You need a drill press. You need a machine shop. So he couldn't do it. But I did spend 2.5 hours with Alvin Zolt. And he worked his butt off to get the job done. Just didn't get the job done. It wasn't his fault, though. But I'll show you that video one day. Okay, then, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for stopping by. And that's it. There's no drama other than dating on the Philippines. I've been really, really, I don't know if you'd call it busy, but I've been doing other stuff the last couple of days, and none of which I'm putting on YouTube. And plus, it's been raining, so I'm letting my leg heal. So and if it's going to rain all week, then I'm going to be doing a live show every day about something different, probably from one of my old videos on Hoodwinked by an Angel. I'm bringing over all my best videos from Hoodwinked by an Angel over to Alpha Male Construction, because it takes a good solid 40 minutes to get a video from Hoodwinked, download it to one of my programs, upload it, and then tag it and title it again. It takes about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes for a video, because you want to put the description in, you want to put the tags in. So I'm doing 2 or 3 of those if I can in a day, and then around Christmas time I'll start releasing 2 or 3 videos per day. But they're all going to be, a lot of them are going to be from Hoodwinked by an Angel, the classics, as Mr. Spock said in the movie with Captain Kirk when they were on the bus. The classics, if you remember that line. It's a funny line. Mr. Spock. Umping Permy, of course, from Michael Fazio and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. And remember, the girls online will waste your time, ask you for money, and not show up. It's your fault if you give them money, and your fault if you give them money. It's your fault if you give them money and they don't show up. You'll have nobody to blame but yourself. I only gave one girl money. One girl. I gave one, Myla. That was the only girl I ever gave money for transportation to, and she showed up 32 days late. Don't give them money. They're not your bunny. Don't give them money. Don't give them money. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't give girls online money. I don't care. You talk to them for a week, a month, a year and a half. Don't give them money. Do not do it. Don't do it. Umping Permy from the Philippines, baby. Bye-bye for now. That's right. Oh, see my glasses? I did another repair on my glass. They're getting a little heavy, though. They have a tendency to fall down. I got enough stuff on them now that'll keep them from... They're pretty solid. You can't... They've broken. They broke twice already, but they won't break a third time. The next time they break, it'll be the last time I'll be able to fix these bad boys. Bye-bye. From the Philippines, baby.